And why did you guys pick Liquid? Why didn't you use something like Solana?
Well, so there's many factors here. The first one was we initially didn't in Liquid because when we thought about this product, Liquid didn't exist. So we did in colored coins, specific implementation of colored coins. That project got abandoned, and we're like, okay, now we have to think of a project that A, won't be abandoned as easy or has a bigger community. B, it's not going to be deemed as security, which basically wipes most of the chains that are out there. Solana probably a security, EOS very likely a security, Ethereum maybe a security. We don't know, but we couldn't take that risk because we're talking about investment banks and financial institutions and IPOs and debt structures. All these are regulated people that don't want to risk the reputation using Solana, for example.
I still think that people don't fully appreciate that risk. Even with all the news recently about the SEC looking at the bulk of the digital asset space as unregistered securities, I think people don't fully appreciate the risk on that, especially if you're doing security type products, tokenized security type products. Because the whole thing with Liquid is that there wasn't an ICO coin. There's not another coin associated with it, right? It's all on Bitcoin, and that's how you pay your issuance and your transaction fees and all of that. And Bitcoin is the only one that's sufficiently decentralized where even the SEC has said that it's not a security. To be honest, it probably hindered Liquid's adoption because there wasn't that token associated with it that you can pump and speculate on. But in the long run, it's the more sustainable path.
There's also, as you correctly point out, they issue their own token, and then there's a lot of grants. So I know projects that just, we're going to put it in blah, 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 because we're going to get grants from all of them, and it comes to $1 million, right? So they're just thinking about the grants. Liquid doesn't give grants for obvious reasons. In our case, when we're talking to the Mexican banks, and so you tell a Mexican bank, we're going to use this Solana thing, and then the bank's going to be like, we can't build our business, especially in something that might be called a security in 3 years. It would be a catastrophe. So they really conscious about what blockchain are you going to use. And that was the first thing that we were asked by the Mexican banks, by the global investment banks, what blockchain are you using? And we would say, Litecoin, we're migrating to Liquid. And they were like, okay, that is fine. If you had said you were using EOS or Algorand or something like that, we would have said we can do it.
That's interesting. So are they sophisticated enough to ask that question, or are you guys kind of guiding them down and giving them a presentation and saying, hey, here are the risks? Or are they on the ball? Do they already understand that?
They had a lot of risks in mind already when we talked to them. So I remember this big global investment bank, they were like, we have two issues. First, what happens if we get our addresses dusted by OFAC sanctioned transactions? What do we do? Number one. And then number two was we cannot hold the cryptocurrency in our balance sheet. None of it. No Bitcoin, no Litecoin, no Ether, no nothing. So you have to find a way.
For regulatory reasons, right?
Exactly. Even if it's $1 just to make transactions, we cannot hold it. So they did not want to have publicly known addresses, and they did not want to have to hold any kind of cryptocurrency, even if it's $1.
So how do you solve that? Who holds the addresses? Who manages that then?
So we had to do a lot of legal back and forth with their American law firm, which was basically they pay a Mexican company to be a record keeper that gets to record in the database, which is Liquid, that this asset now belongs to this. So it's the keys are just a way to write in the database. So you're a record keeper. Yeah, I mean here. The loan servicer is the one that's doing this record keeping. So the loan servicer just absorbed that necessity, and the custodian disappeared. So these structures have custodians usually where there's a physical place where you deposit the pieces of paper. Those are gone now. And so the custodian is gone. And so now there's no custodian. There's a record keeper that is the loan servicer.